Welcome to Fishing for Bees. This is my YouTube channel on swarm catching and beekeeping. A little bit about us is we're in the Grand Rapids area. We have 2 yards, production yard, and then this nuke yard. We've never purchased bees. We've never bought a queen or any of that. So swarms just keep replenishing our colonies. We've had minimal losses most of the years, but last year was a rough year. But even with all that, Freebees has produced a profit every year in selling of honey. So if any of that interests you, please like and subscribe. Today we're going to get into our swarm catch. This was caught a while ago. It's been 11 or 12 days since we were in there, and I estimate that they were probably in the swarm trap for about 2 weeks. So we got some orientation flights, it seems, out the front door. When we put it in here, we confirm there's a laying queen, so I'm not going to go any deeper, but my concerns with them are space going into winter. Even though swarms are good at drawing comb, they're eventually going to shut the door on drawing comb and they're just going to stop, especially in the fall, late summer, fall catches. They don't draw out as long as the ones in the spring do. The abundance of nectar in the environment is what gets them to draw, and we're just not having it. We haven't had much rain here at all, and I'm very concerned that the goldenrod's not going to be very productive. So we got the Hive Alive Easy Feed product right here, currently out of stock. Hopefully by the time this video is out, it's in stock. But there's a link in the description down below, and you get 10% off if you use the code FishingForBees10. FishingForBees10 at checkout, get you 10% off. So hopefully it'll be back in stock real soon. Also, here's your warning. The fondant always goes out of stock too. They're popular products. They come from overseas in Ireland. It seems to be difficult sometimes to keep a fresh product in stock. And the good thing about Hive Alive is they're not selling an old product. Products that I buy have 2-year almost expiration dates on them, so I really appreciate that. So going out of stock is a bummer, but going out of stock also means that we're continuously getting fresh products. The new shipment is going to be a bigger size, so they listen to their customers. These bags, they were getting customer feedback that they were a little too small. I'm told that they're going to have the same footprint, but they're going to hold more liquid. So we're going to get inside this one. We're going to determine if they're ready just by a visual for another nuke. We have 5 frames drawn out. So back to my point, they're going to not draw a comb at some point, and they're probably already at that point. But we have 5 frames of drawn comb. Some of them are a little funky. It's going to give the girls a little bit of work. But these 3 in the middle are worker cells, real good worker cell frames for early spring when they're up in that top box for her to lay. I don't anticipate there'll be much laying up here. There could be, and that'll be fine because they'll end up backfilling it. But we're probably going to end up putting a feeder shim on, and then we're going to end up feeding them the Hive Alive. So let's get inside of here, see what's going on. I'm not going to smoke them right away. I want to see what's happening. First, I can test the weight. Very light. That is very light. Too light. There's 2 earwigs in there. 2 is not a problem. As long as they're not inside there, they're not an issue. On the outside, a little bit of concern. Kind of tells me it's still a small colony, and they might be having a little bit of a difficult time defending 5 frames. So again, I didn't smoke them for a reason. We got bee eyeballs, bee eyeballs, bee eyeballs. Every frame has bees staring at us. Quiet too. We like that. Here's one that's a little concerned, wants to know what's going on. That one right there. So we got some small bees, and we got some fuzzy bees. Fuzzy bees are the new baby bees. They all went down. Fortunately, I don't think Elena's going to be able to get a baby bee. This one definitely is a defender. She don't like that hive tool. So I'm not going to play around too long. One of the important things is that entrance is very small, especially if I put this syrup on here. The syrup can be smelled by neighbors and pests, neighbor bees and pests, and you do not want them to be under pressure as far as robbing. So we got a nice small entrance, easy to defend, no other entrances. Hopefully no big cracks with this feeder shim. This is just some scrap wood that I had. So the feeder shims are free. So we got a video up of our review of this product. We didn't just receive this product from Hive Alive and do a video saying it's a good product and you should buy it. We actually reviewed it. We put it on here. We left it for, I want to say, a week and a half during a nectar flow. And they consumed it. And by them, I mean this one next door. So 5 little holes. Yellow jacket likes it. We don't like that. I like to give it a little push. See it get wet on top. Okay. I don't want that yellow jacket in there. Get out. All right. So we're going to close it up. Got a couple bees here. We'll just introduce them to the top. As I said, no other entrances. So this little notch in the back is going to be closed off by pushing this all the way forward. I do want some weight on there. Just to make sure that feeder shim's nice and tight. They got some work ahead of them with this box. As I said, some of it's kind of funky, but they'll be real excited to have that. Unfortunately, they'll have to take everything out the front door. Hopefully they can manage with that because I don't want to risk it, open that up anymore. That's it for the swarm catch. We're going to keep monitoring it. We're going to do some things going forward. We're probably going to change up our mouse guards a little bit to promote better ventilation. In the past, my nukes in this yard, that was my winterization. The small setting hole on a entrance reducer. I don't like that. I don't think it's promoting enough airflow. We do use quilt boxes, but I need more airflow from the bottom coming out through that quilt box to eliminate more moisture inside of these colonies. Moisture is what kills, not necessarily lack of heat. Bees are very good at heating the inside of this. You want to help them retain heat. You don't have to help them create heat. They create the heat. The problem is the moisture. These get really wet in the inside, all that condensation, freezing, thawing, freezing, thawing during the winter months. And the moisture hits that inner cover and drips down on them and kills them. So it's about moisture control and less about heat. Again, they create the heat. You help them retain the heat. So, we may consider putting some tar paper on here. But we're pretty happy with the progress of this one. We're happy to have it here, so this one's not alone all winter. Don't forget about Hive Alive, the link below, 10% off using the code FishingForBees10 at checkout. For the people that have already used the code and used the link, we appreciate it. We see those results, so thank you. Hive Alive appreciates it, and they've given me some good positive feedback on what we're doing, so thank you for that. With that, we'll wrap it up. We'll come back and check them again. Check out the video on this one and another video that we have from our production yard that's currently up right now. Thanks for coming along for the ride. I hope your bees are well.